I've decided I'm going to start with the acrylic piece because this outside diameter is going to determine the pocket on the back side of the wood, because I'm going to have the LEDs lined around this to where they face in, so I have to account for the thickness of those. So if you're ever doing this, so the idea behind this is it's going to glow due to the LEDs like this. So this is engraved on the back side of the acrylic, and when the light shines up through, all of this is going to give it a glow. So to do that, you have to take your design and reverse it, so when you engrave it on the back side and then turn it around and look at it, it'll be frontwards, but you won't be able to feel any of the engraving, and there's going to be a buttload of engraving on this thing. So I've flipped everything around, I mirrored it over, and I've got the tool path written. I've got 3 tool paths and 1 profile pass. And let's just go ahead and reset this. So the first tool path is 1/2, and let's go ahead and simulate that. So that's what that's going to look like on the first tool path. And then if I do the second tool path, show that, it's going to do the second dot down here and the other side of the letters. And let me tell you this, let's go ahead and preview that real quick. Breaking up the letters to where I can get on one side that's fully shaded in, I can get the letters be clear and transparent, and then have everything line up. That was a pain in the butt. Yeah, we'll go with that one, because I had to actually follow this curve around and trim and break them up into separate entities, but they couldn't touch. So there's a bit of a gap there, but it's so small that it's not going to be a problem. Alright, so I've got that, and I'm missing part of the S there, so I have to redo that. And then the third tool path, I'll fix that S, and that'll be in the second part. But the third part of the tool path is this outside shape here, this outside circle. I wanted to give it a little bit of thickness instead of it just being one line, so let's go ahead and preview that. And then the outside profile, I'm going to switch to a 1/8 down cut bit, so it's not trying to pull the material up off the bed like a standard end mill or cutter would do. It's going to actually push it down. And then when we preview that, I've got 4 little tabs that'll be easy to snip off and sand down. That way this doesn't break out of this while it's cutting and move on me. So that's what I'm gonna get going first after I fix this part of the S, which just looks like it's that right there. I'm gonna go to my second tool path, and I can see that it's not selected in here, so I'm gonna have to do that and recreate that tool path. Now the tool I'm going to use to engrave this is something that I made. And if you come up here to the machine, so this little guy here is spring loaded. It's got a diamond on the end. So when I set the depth, yeah, let's just go right here, and it's going to compress that spring and then just drag around. This is not going to spin. And then the down cut end mill. So if we look at 2 end mills side by side, as this is spinning and cutting, it's trying to pull the material up. For thick material, that's fine, or rigid material, but a thin plastic, it'll actually cause it to bow and possibly break out. Whereas if we look at the one in the green holder here, as it spins, spinning in the same direction, but the flutes go a different direction, the opposite way, and it's actually trying to push the material down into the bed so it stays flat, doesn't try to raise up. So that's the strategy there. So now I just got to fix my tool path, set the machine up, lock my material down, And I'm just going to use screws around the outside edge just to hold it down so it doesn't move and shift while it's trying to cut and engrave. And we'll get that going here in a few minutes. Got the little sliver back in there, got the tool paths all saved, jumped over to the machine, got it set up. Let's walk over there and see what we got going on. I just started it. So it's running, it's engraving. For my hold down, it's really simple. Just I make sure I have a screw on the center of each side so it can't shift. Then over here I have a second screw here with a washer and another one over here. You see the one in the middle and the one in the middle. That keeps it from being able to rotate. So this is going to take a while. I'm going really slow so I get a good impression. So we're going to let it run. I'll check back in when we have a little bit more detail. Here we are at the end of the drag engraving. It has taken 40 minutes, 32 seconds so far. It's about done. As you can see, we've got a nice engrave on there. I'll blow this off when it's done, as soon as it's done with this diameter. Then we will switch tools, set our Z0, cut this out. I think so far it's coming out amazing. Hopefully you guys can see where I was going with this. So that drag engraving took 41 minutes and 7 seconds. Go ahead and get this switched over, get that cut out so I can do some measurements and see what we have to do on the wood piece.